Okay, so my vision. I've had a few. That's part of the reason I'm not niching down too quickly, because I kind of want to see where the need is and where maybe I fit in, because I actually feel like I can support quite a few different people. And my hyperactivity loves it, loves to have that, change and stuff in it. So my vision for Mrs. C and me is mostly from a school counseling point of view. So it's mostly with youth and parenting and teachers. It's like, how can we lower, like the focus for me with all of this is how can we lower the trauma that seems to come with living with a neurodivergence? There's research and things coming out about levels of trauma at CPTSD levels, and the bullying and the stories are overwhelming. And there's more and more links to possible, connections with ADHD. And that's my passion. And I'm signed up for so many of the research. I'm in CADRA. I went to the conference. I go to webinars at least once a week, if not 2 times a week. In the summer, I've been going to tons. I can't get enough information about ADHD. And part of it is because the more I find out, the more I still make connections and the more I heal and the more I'm aware and the lighter I feel. And I want to share it. It's literally transformed my life. It's changed my outlook. It's changed my regulation. It's changed my relationships with myself and with others. It hasn't all been beautiful and wonderful, and I get into more of that in Hyper Heather and Unmasking. But there's so many people. My school counseling office, like, I don't know where you live or what your situation is, but the education system in Alberta is completely overwhelmed. The government, I'm not going to get into all of that, but the government has literally let public education just go to crap. There's private schools, there's all sorts of things. I won't get into it, but the reality is, we are just bombarded. Okay, so most of the stuff that I get to do within the school system is just band-aids. When the kids are upset, I can deal with them, but there's no real long-term coaching or long-term teaching. It's kind of triage, and it breaks my heart. I'm getting closer and closer to retirement age. When I say retirement, it means I can retire. It doesn't mean necessarily that I will. I still love what I do at the schools, and in the schools, and I still am passionate about my job. I'm still wanting to create new things. So I don't think I'm on my way out yet, but and I'll get into this in my personal stories. I sometimes have to fight for my right to work. There are some medical people on my team that think the job has gotten, very difficult, and it's hard for me to not overextend myself and overwhelm myself and cause burnout. And so there is a lot there that I have to deal with. And sometimes I feel like at some point I might not be able to work anymore in the schools due to medical reasons, a lot of them being ADHD and anxiety and menopause and all sorts of stuff. So that's another reason I have this burning desire inside of me to create a community. Not just an online course, not just an ADHD coach, like a community, a place where we can all be vulnerable and learn from each other and share the highs, the lows, all of it, whether it's as a parent, as someone with ADHD or an educator, like all of it is valid to me and important to me. And so I wanted to create a place where I can share my passion. So when parents come to the parents are actually the ones that are at fault here, just so you know, parents from my school, because every time I dealt with these amazing parents, whether I was helping them diagnose their child or introducing them to the whole concept of neurodivergence, they would just tell me afterwards that they wish they could listen to more and that they could stay longer, or that I had more time for them, or that they could hear more of my connections and thoughts and approaches. And a few of them have been like, make a podcast and do this and do that. And I didn't know where to start. I mean, every time they said it, it excited me. But it comes with a lot of work, learning how to use all these platforms, setting things up, getting payments, like all of that is very, very difficult. Well, not difficult, but time consuming. And again, I'm a full-time counselor, or 4-day-a-week counselor, which I get into as well, because I'm actually, I've taken sort of a pay cut, I guess you can say, due to medical reasons and my hyperactivity and sleep. Okay, so if you're interested in those things, Hyper Heather. But the other thing you got to realize too is I've tried a couple programs. So my original goal when I started to jump into a lot of these things was to find people to recommend to my families. So I tried, I'm not going to give any names because a lot of them are doing great, great work. But one of the parenting courses I took was extremely expensive. It was fantastic and full of information, but not ADHD friendly. And in that situation, I could see that she was doing so much to make sure her ADHD didn't, impact the stuff, but I think she forgot that a lot of her clients have ADHD. A lot of us that are in parenting courses, have ADHD or a partner with ADHD. So that course was excruciatingly hard for me to get through, and definitely could not, recommend it to some of my families with ADHD. So there was that one. I did another one that was quite good. The only thing I didn't like about her, no credentials, no training except for life experience, which I believe is valid. Don't get me wrong. I'm not under life experience is sometimes the most valid of all education. But what I found interesting with her was there's sort of an anger to it, or like this, ed, stick up for your kids. The teachers are the problem. The other parents are the problem. I didn't quite like that part because I don't see that as solution focused. I mean, as a family, you decide who's good, who's not, all that, and deep coaching and stuff, we might decide certain things. But all in all, I like to try to approach it with the idea of everyone is doing their best and we just need to do better. And so we need to work together to do better. So I want a place where I can create courses where I can talk like this, whether no one's listening or not. It gives me an opportunity to share all the beautiful thoughts and things that are in my brain. It gives me a place to put them. And then if there's people that want to listen to them, they can. The coaching side of it, I love that idea of coaching. I can see why coaches are expensive though. You need platforms, you need time, you need training. Like it's not simple to just step into the coaching role. So the coaching part of Mrs. C and Me is probably the most expensive yet. I have made the VIP membership, which there's only limited spaces, obviously. This membership right now, you can have one monthly call with me. And then if you refer people and all that kind of stuff, you can get more time. So the idea being, if you're a low income family or unemployed or on disability, you're the people that might need this stuff the most, but you're the ones that can't afford it. So I've come up with a way for you to get both and to help me out too. So basically you're going to join the Mrs. C and Me team. So that's coming up in the next two spots. There's the legacy membership, or members is what you're looking for if you want the free paid membership. So the idea being the VIP is like $99 a month and the premium is $25 a month. You can get into either one of those programs right now for free for your lifetime. So check it out. And basically the difference being, are you willing to spread the word about Mrs. C and Me? On social media, but even more importantly, in person, to your friends, to your family, to your, to people around, to strangers on the street. Are you willing to share and get more people, to come here? Because again, my main goal for this vision is it needs to pay for itself. So I'm hoping that the courses and all that kind of stuff can pay for my platform and all that kind of stuff. And I am going to break all those costs down. Keep scrolling and you'll see the cost breakdown at this point in time. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. Also, you need to know I did have a business coach this spring kind of look over my stuff, and because I kept getting from people, wow, good business model and all this kind of stuff, but yet I couldn't quite get traction. Part of it is I don't know, I like to do things for people. I love to help. And so part of me just wants to, do it for free, but you can't do that. It's going to actually cost me money. And, I should get some kind of support for it, whether it's, a little bit or whatever else. My main goal is that it just doesn't cost me anything and that it can pay for itself. So that's my main mission. So the business coach suggested that I offer the membership at free for quite a few of the things, and then tiers for the people that can afford it. And then possibly looking at numbers and all that kind of stuff later, I might actually even make Mrs. C and Me a not-for-profit, which I have then learned, can pay for my stuff, pay for the expenses and that kind of thing, and I can still share. So I am under the advice, and I've taken it, to finish 2026 and then run 2027 as is with these memberships, and then decide then, if it's through, I'm going to have like a buy a coffee if you want to make a, for people who are free, if you want to contribute. So, if that alone is enough to pay for the platforms, perfectly. If I feel like I need to go in another direction, I might. So that is part of the reason you're getting some of these things for free, is I'm trying to see if that works, if that model works. And so you do have to be patient as I figure some of this stuff out, and remind yourself that other than when I hire someone like this business coach for their feedback, but I only have them for a limited amount of time, I'm back on my own. But those kind of things all cost me money. So you need to be on board with me kind of self-supporting with Mrs. C and me. So if you're interested in that, you can jump down to the legacy membership information. However, if your child or children go to my current school, the one that I work at during the school year, I do have a free offer for you as well. I sort of feel like it's a conflict of interest for me to charge the families in my school for my parenting courses and some of my ADHD courses. So like the Start Here, Understanding ADHD. Some of my other courses, there'll be some free, some paid, like there'll be a mix. I'm still learning as I go as well. So there's lots coming up, lots to learn. I just need your patience. I just need your support. When you do watch something, or please like it or comment just to let me know you were there. That's the hardest part. Sometimes I feel like nobody's even watching it. And then I see someone in person, they're like, oh, I saw you. I finished lesson 4. And I'm like, why aren't you commenting? Do you know how much that would mean to me if I could see a comment or a like? Just knowing that there are people that are accessing this, especially at this beginning part. Okay. As I'm trying to figure out if people want to learn from me. So if you do think people want to learn from me, please share, 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 share.